to be Good afternoon. I'm just excited to be welcoming such a commendable program that we are trying to forge ahead in Philadelphia. My name is Gianna Murat. I am the Director of Programming and Events at PACDC. Essentially, I am focused on the programming efforts to create an equitable neighborhood for our CDC members and allied members. PACDC is a member organization that leads advocacy, policy development, technical assistance for community development organizations so that they are able to revitalize their neighborhoods and rebuild their communities. This afternoon, I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming Kim Bianca, who spearheads the SEAT program. And again, it's a remarkable program aimed at assisting boards of directors to diversify their boards and to train Black and Latino residents to get involved in their neighborhood activities. So I'm going to turn over to Kim Bianca so that she can introduce herself and tell us more about the SEAT program.
Wonderful. So, Gianna, thank you so much. I am so excited. I feel like I'm in Philadelphia, even though I am in Connecticut, but I'm coming. I'm coming soon.
Stay
So,
tuned
my
to the
name is
city
Kim.
near you.
Yes, to a city near you. My name is Kim Bianca Burgess, and I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to present our SEAT program. And for those of you who are joining us who may have no clue about what it is, first, I just want to start with a little bit about how it came to be. So I've served on nonprofit boards for many, many years, and quite frequently I was the double minority, the Black woman who had no mentor, no support system. And as I moved through working on nonprofit boards, of course, starting as a board member, then working my way onto committees, eventually the executive committee, and then eventually becoming chair of a nonprofit board, I realized the struggle that it presented not having a support system that looked like me, that was able to help me navigate serving on nonprofit boards. I had the passion, the love, and the desire, like many of you who are here today, who really want to elevate your leadership, but don't have these professional skills to be able to walk into a room, largely with our counterparts, and to be able to serve effectively on a nonprofit board. So at that point, I made a decision. Gianna, I said, either I am going to go on a corporate board and get paid for my aggravation, or I'd create a program for our community. And by our community, I mean our Black and Latino residents, primarily from underserved, underrepresented, fill in any adjective that you want and put it there, and create a community that would really help us to have a more dominant seat at the table and be able to make decisions about what's happening in our community. So we did that. We did that about 3 years ago, and we are now having served 5 cohorts, getting ready to finish up cohort 6 and 7. And yeah, we're just excited about how fast this is growing, not only from the residential side, because of course we have always been a passionate people, but also from the nonprofit organization side, because they're looking to be able to diversify their board, but they have very little resources by which to do that.
Well, thank you, Kim Bianca, for that intro and just more explanation about the SEAT program. I know that this probably couldn't have been just an easy endeavor. So can you address some of the issues that the SEAT program brings solutions towards?
Yes, absolutely. And we were chatting with Smooches a little bit earlier, and she was talking about that she is connected to the businesses in the community. And we know that any business model, it has to solve a problem, right? A problem must exist, and that's why we exist. So for the SEED program, we really identified 2 problems, which I alluded to a little bit earlier, but more specifically, nonprofit organizations do really great work in all of our communities. However, they are often challenged with a very limited pool of racial diverse candidates that they can choose from. Having served on nonprofit boards for many, many years, I was frequently asked to serve on many, many boards because they knew I had the experience. So, and other professionals like myself. So one of the problems that we solve is broadening the pool of community residents who are Black and Latino, not just training people who have already served, but creating a whole nother pool by which to choose from. And then by creating that pool, we help address the problem that the nonprofit organizations have, which is finding qualified candidates. So, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is so much more than checking a box, right? It's much more than saying, oh yes, I have 2 Black people and 3 Latino, and the box is now checked. But you want to have qualified people on your board who not only have the skills and expertise, but bring the lived experience to the table, which is equally valuable. So those are the 2 primary problems that we believe our SEAT program addresses. 1, we build a larger pool, and 2, we create an avenue for those who are more than interested to serve their community in a higher capacity, a platform to do that.
So how can you give more into the meat of the program? What makes it distinct as a program beyond the fact that it, finds reputable Black and Brown individuals within the community? Can you explain to us more in deep depth how do you actualize the program?
Sure, sure, sure. So we realize when we talk about serving on nonprofit boards, there are specific how-tos that every board member needs to have. But before we address that, there is the issue of confidence. Coming from Black and Latino communities, we may not have the confidence that we need to walk into that room, pull up a seat at that table, and begin dialoguing about all of these terms and things that we most likely have not heard before. So the first thing that we address in our training program is identifying our value and our transferable skills. Many people think, oh my goodness, I don't have what it takes to serve on a nonprofit board. Like it's this big, mysterious elephant that's in the room, but it's really not. And if we just have people to tell us how it works and how it functions, that takes our confidence from 0 to 10 immediately. So once we get the confidence going, then we start talking about the various skills and tools that we learn. So we look at governance from 2 perspectives. We look at fiduciary, which is your legal responsibility. And then we also look at the fiscal responsibility, which is the financial component. So myself and my cohort, Dorothy Adams, who is absolutely wonderful in teaching the financial component of our program, really helps our community to understand the nuts and bolts of nonprofit financial statements. After going through the governance component, we talk about board engagement strategies. And this is something I believe, pretty much every board needs to have. So how do you manage conflict on a nonprofit board, right? How do you go about solving problems and making good decisions? Oftentimes we have good efforts, but maybe it's not properly directed. So we go through this whole session about board engagement. So not only are our graduates equipped with the practical skills, but they also have the emotional intelligence skills to be able to effectively operate on a nonprofit board. And then if that's not enough, Gianna, we bring in executive directors. So the whole 10-week program, they're seeing board service through the eyes of former board chairs, myself and our other trainers. But this presents a very unique opportunity when we gather our executive directors and they share with them what they look for in a board member, what they believe a successful board member brings to the table. So it adds another dimension to the training. So they're not only hearing from former board members, but now executive directors. And then we do a couple of other fun things. For example, we have a photo shoot because most of our graduates don't have a professional headshot, and we want to make sure they look and feel just as confident as everybody else that walks in the room. And we do testimonials, and they have a chance to record their experience about our program. And then we end it off, and this is really the creme de la creme. We actually present nonprofit organizations who are interested in diversifying their board to our graduates. So imagine this, right? You got 10 graduates in the room, and we've curated 10 nonprofit organizations who are really interested in diversifying their board, and we bring them together. It's like a speed dating session. So our graduates don't have to worry about trying to find the right nonprofit organization. We've done the hard work for them. So they each meet with the nonprofit organization for about 15 minutes. When they decide who they like and who likes them, they continue on until they make a match and are seated. But even then, our training doesn't stop there. We provide post-support network. And this is vital. You mentioned, Gianna, you said, what distinguishes us from other programs? I think this is one of the distinguishing factors, because it's one thing to get trained and get the skills and go do the thing. It's another thing to know that you have a support system, a network of like-minded folks who are in the same situations that you are, and you can come back to that support network every other month, share your successes, your challenges, and then we even teach some what I call micro trainings to help them further their development while serving on the nonprofit board. So yeah, that's what makes our program work, and that's what makes our program different.
Definitely. When we heard about this, we thought this was really intentional. So we know that it's in Connecticut. We really support in wanting to bring it to Philadelphia. But one of the reasons is we saw the results and they spoke for themselves. So Kim Bianca, if you can just provide a snapshot of how you've been successful in Connecticut so that we can make sure that this occurs in Philadelphia.
Yes, yes. So thank you again. So to date, we have, remember, we've just been 3 years in, right? And I'm amazed at the momentum that this has taken. So we've had 5 cohorts, 3 in my city. We've been in 2 in Waterbury, Connecticut. We are now introducing our program to Norwalk. We just got word that we'll be in Hartford, Connecticut in the fall. And we'll also be doing a mini version, Seat Essentials, in New Haven, Connecticut. So we only count our full 10-week programs in our numbers. So to date, we've done 5 cohorts. We've trained 32 Black and Latino community residents. And out of those 32, 19 have been recruited by nonprofit organizations. So that gives us just about a 60% seat rate. And while that is fantastic, we're looking to up that number. So we are constantly reviewing our programming, reviewing our processes to determine how we can strengthen it. So our seat number is at least 75%. We realize that the window for opportunity in this whole conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion is closing quickly. Gianna, I don't know if you had the opportunity to hear the news. It was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and a university closed or terminated their entire DEI department. And they did that because they wanted to maintain funding. So this is just another example of how our window of opportunity is quickly closing. So we are more than intentional, and we are moving as fast and as hard as we can to not only do more cohorts, but expand outside of Connecticut and get more of us seated on nonprofit boards.
Wow, no, I did not hear about that, Kim Bianca, but thank you for sharing that information. When we think we're, 10 steps ahead, we're always pushed, 5 seats behind. And I think this is why this matters to everyone who is present, and within our member association. So we have to continue to, um, you know, be hopeful, but be intentional, as you mentioned about, creating a seat at the table for, not only just viable candidates within the Black and Brown community, but helping people to understand why it's important that we're visible, why it's important that we have a seat at the table. We bring creation, innovation. We are key stakeholders, and we share so much of our knowledge, and that definitely shouldn't be disrupted. So that's really unfortunate, because you can only imagine how many great educators and knowledge providers are coming to the table from that university, and that can't be shared. And,
Right.
essentially we're not getting a safe space. So that's unfortunate, honestly. But we're glad that you're continuing to create a space for those within our community. So what essentially would be the great key stakeholders to make sure that this program is successful within Philadelphia and beyond?
Yes, so we really have, when we think about the different types of stakeholders, we really have three types. So it's the community resident, those who live in the neighborhood, that have the lived experience, that know what the community needs, that can help make decisions about programming. Nonprofits do a lot of good work, but the question is, are they doing the right work? Right? They do good work, but are they doing the right work? And who is better equipped to say if this is right or wrong than those of us who live in the community that they are serving? And so that's one component. And then, of course, the other stakeholder is the nonprofit organization themselves. So for those who are really positioned and ready to diversify, that's a stakeholder group. And then there's a third stakeholder group, who are the funders, right? So they might be interested. This might be their focus for the year, to increase diversity on nonprofit boards. And this would be a great program for them to support. I did a little research, Gianna, on Pennsylvania, and I found these numbers staggering, and just want to share with you. And it just helps to reinforce the importance of having our voice at the table. And so this information is from ProPublica 2024. And according to the IRS, now this is Pennsylvania as a whole, it's not just Philadelphia, but according to the IRS, they being nonprofit organizations, have taken in $211 billion in revenue. Pennsylvania, $211 billion in revenue. Now, these nonprofit organizations are serving our communities. Who's making decisions to where this $211 billion is going? Now, granted, not all of those agencies are 501c3s. I think they said there's about, and I'm looking at the numbers right now, about 60,000 of them are 501c3s, but in totality, it's almost 79,000 tax exempt organizations. So even if we cut that in half, and even if we say it's $100 billion, we don't have a voice on where and how that money is being utilized when it comes to serving our community. I know.
I know.
It's just like breathe.
Right. Sometimes there's no words. You just take deep breaths. We're going to continue, forging ahead and making sure, again, that we have a place at the table to, provide commentary on, where our resources and dollars go. But I know that you have some additional upcoming cohorts. If you wanted to provide some background on that, and then we'll get to see if anyone else has questions and, join in on the, process.
Sure, sure, sure. So our next cohort is you. We are coming to Mount Airy, Germantown, and West Philadelphia. And our cohort there is going to begin June 25th. So we're running them concurrently. So we'll have one that begins, I think the 25th is a Tuesday, and then one on a Wednesday, again, Mount Airy / Germantown, and then West Philadelphia. So the programming is for 10 weeks. The wonderful thing is that we've kept the cost of the programming extremely low. So for the full 10-week program, plus the support network that you get once you graduate from the program is only $45, because we want to make sure that we eliminate any possible barriers for our community getting to the table. Also, Gianna, I want to mention that, I know I've said a lot and we've just got like a little bit of short time, but I'm coming to Philly. I'll be in Philly before the program. So I'm going to be I'm coming, smooches, I'm coming. I'll be in Philadelphia Thursday, April 11th and Friday, April 12th. So if anybody wants to reach out to me and learn more about the program personally, be glad to grab a cup of coffee or a lemonade with you, depending on what time of day. But I'll be there for 2 days, and I want to learn more about the community. You all have done a phenomenal job, Gianna and your team there at PACDC, and I couldn't be more grateful and just so excited to have the opportunity to help empower other communities, like communities that I'm from, so we can really get in and lift our voice and help move us along as far as we can.
Absolutely. Yes, we're thankful for our team. Alex and Joanna are in the background, assisting us with the technical portion of the session. So without them, this wouldn't have been possible. And we're just, thankful. And Joanna and I are working in the background to make sure that this cohort program will be possible, within those sectors of the town. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to us. We'll be providing more information. We'll be reaching out to our member association to connect you with Kim Bianca. This is really a remarkable program. So don't miss out. Get on that bandwagon for the first cohort. But we're going to open the floor to see if there's more questions, comments. So we're just going to give a few minutes to those who are joined with us. So welcome. Smooches, welcome Amanda. Please let us know if you have any questions. Anyone I can't see, chime in, whether it be on the chat or on the Facebook Live. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is great. I feel so blessed because this is just the same thing. I was just talking and putting out there, and I hear Ms. Kim Bianca spitting out the same thing. I was like, this is great. Again, this is why I feel blessed to be part. Being a community, I've been active for 42 years, and again, to help our people of color get well informed of what's going on. Like Gianna said, we get put in the back burner, or they don't share the information. This is why we struggle so hard. It's like they make it hard for us, because I feel like this has been our land, and we supported. Like, I take back history. One thing about history, I take you back. And I started off, and at the same time, even though we supported and helped raise community, we get put back in the, we don't get no credit for that. And then when good information comes, it's not shared. And this is why I feel as though a lot of businesses struggle, a lot of residents struggle, or they just lost that trust that, and then by being judged, it's like they don't feel like they are privileged to learn these things, or they don't feel like they know enough information. Like a long time ago, I'm gonna put it out there, I felt as though I was a nobody because white people made me feel some type of way. saying like we're not educated, or even when I was in school, I knew the answer, but I was ashamed and scared to say the answer because such and such will be judging, and that's why I lost that fear. But now that I'm grown and I know better, and I learned a lot through attending or talking to people like Ms. Kim, I feel like I'm like, wait a minute, I've been powerful all this time and people have been shutting me up. Oh no, I'm gonna start spitting these things and teach my people of color how to survive and rise, So and please let me know when you're in Philly, because I'm from, when I came from New York, like my husband, he's off of the G-Town area, Mount Airy, and I lived there for years. And this is great. And listen, I'll follow you wherever you go, because this is awesome. We need to stay connected and learn from each other, so we can all become, like I said, I always say it's more of us than it is them. We can make it happen, but just if they're not well informed and they don't know what's going on, we can't fight.
Thank you so much, Smooches. We really appreciate you. It goes to show how important it is to just have a seat at the table, make sure people are seen, heard, and known that they are important. Does anyone else have any comments or questions to add? That's okay, Amanda. So Amanda says that it's great learning about the program and upcoming cohort. What ways can intermediaries, such as LISC, support this effort?
So thank you, Amanda, for the question. I think one of the things is just helping us to garner nonprofit organizations who might be looking to diversify their board. The work that PACDC does as it relates to the organizations locally and being in contact with the community, I think we've got that part under wraps. But being able to reach out to other nonprofit organizations who might have an interest would be very helpful. And then, of course, funding opportunities. This is a great opportunity if this is your passion and focus for funding, and I'd be happy to speak with you later about that, Amanda. But thank you very much for the question.
Thank you, Amanda. So without further ado, I mean, the SEED program is going to offer a change within our community development sector. We really should consider it. We want to diversify our boards. We want our boards to look like the city it represents. And so I really hope that those who are on the call, those who will be, reviewing the session, can really consider how this opportunity to create equity for Black and Brown folks. As you heard Kim Bianca state, and I always say this to people, I think people don't understand how much we need mentors. We need programs such as this within our communities because we do not have seats at the table. And it's really imperative that we begin to create these opportunities so that we can really create an equitable Philadelphia and different cities beyond, right? So allowing this program to be present within Philadelphia will continue to spearhead it in other cities. So we look forward to continue to promoting the program, and it's going to be at a city near you, so get on board. Kim Bianca, do you have anything left to state before we, close the program?
No, I just want to say thank you again, Gianna. You've been a wonderful, wonderful host. And to Alex and Joanna, who's in the background working, we couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much. And to Gloria, Amanda, and I think I'm going to mispronounce it. I know I am, but is it Francisos?
Francois.
Francois. Geez, I was nowhere close. Francois. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
There's one more question.
Oh, okay. I can do that if you all can.
Sorry for coming in here at the last second, but I see a question that has come in on Facebook Live. It is from Kim Washington. Yeah, Facebook. Kim Washington at Frankfurt CDC is interested in learning more about this program. They have a very diverse board and are a BIPOC-led organization. However, we have a growing Latino population and are interested in making sure our board and organization is always reflective of our neighborhood. And
Wonderful.
that's the comment.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. So by all means, please visit us at SEATCT, that is CT as in Connecticut, so we might have to change that, .org, seatct.org, and just go to the section that says nonprofits, and it will give you more information about that. I would just like to say quickly, Gianna, since Joanna mentioned, and thank you for your diverse board that's already in existence. We do offer a supplementary program that's called Seat Essentials, and these are for Black and Latino residents who are currently serving on nonprofit boards, but may lack the governance experience that is required. So we do offer that as a spinoff of our full 10-week program. So there might be some interest there as well, but thank you so much.
Great. We'll definitely get you connected with Kim. So we'll send the introductory email momentarily, but we're excited. It looks like we're, going to be making our way towards you. So if you are looking forward to a program such as Seat on your board, within your community, definitely reach out to Joanna and I, and we will make those connections. We are, again, looking for funders and organizations that will support this great initiative. So thank you for joining us this afternoon, and let's create a space for others who are usually disadvantaged or not offered seats at the table. Have a good afternoon, everyone.